Hello everyone, welcome back to the Avis YouTube channel. Today we are going to learn one of the interesting topic in MySQL, which is called a store procedure. So let us understand what is a store procedure and how exactly it works. So store procedure is a pre-compiled SQL code that will be saved into your MySQL database or any database that you are going to create a store procedure, and you can call that procedure multiple times in your query. Okay, so let us understand how you can create your own store procedure. So for that, I have taken a small data set which is called a student database, where I have all the information of the student. So let's create one of the very basic procedure. So I'm going to start with the create procedure, give the name, let's say gets. This is the procedure name. Inside it, I can just save my query. Let's say I'm going to save this query, Control C, and I'm going to paste over here. And as you can see, it will run successfully. Now I'm going to call my store procedure function which I've created. Call this one gets, press enter. As you can see that it will show me the output that is saved in my procedure. Now let's move one of the advanced stuff. Let's say I want to save two queries in one single procedure. How you can do that? So let us understand. Let's say I'm going to write a one query, select asterisk from student. Okay, let's say where class is equal to 1A. So this is a one query where I'm getting the student of all the class 1A, and I'm going to copy this query and I'm going to paste over here. I'm going to write the class of 2A. Now I have another query which is containing the 2A class number. Now how you can save these two both query in one single procedure? Okay, let us understand that. So first I'm going to write it with the create statement, create a procedure. Okay, and give the name, let's say gets 1. Okay, now over here you will see there is a one delimiter which is for ending the one statement and one delimiter for the ending the second statement. I want to replace that delimiter with the dollar sign. So for that I'm going to use the function called delimiter and then put a dollar sign. Over here you can put double slash as well, both will be work. Then I'm going to say begin the procedure. Over here begin the procedure. Okay, and then I'm going to say end the procedure with the dollar sign, and then I'm going to write the delimiter again to end my statement. Okay, now delimiter. Okay, now why I'm using dollar sign? Because I want to replace this delimiter with the dollar sign. Okay, then I'm going to run the query, and then let's call the function which I have created for my procedure. Call this function. Let's run that. Now as you can see, I have saved the two output. As you can see, result 14 for the first query, this one for the first query, and the second result for the second query. So this way you can save two queries into your one single procedure. So let us understand this another way you can create a store procedure by coming over here in this section which is called a store procedure. So if you click on right click create procedure, as you can see it will create a procedure for you, and you in this begin and the end, in the between of that you need to write the query. Okay, now let's you want to parameterize your SQL query where a user will enter the numbers in the inside the function, so the output will become. So let us understand that. Let's say I'm going to write a query which is called select asterisk from student where class equal to, over here I'm going to write 1A manually. Okay, I want to parameterize this thing. I want to use a parameter so that user can write any classes that based on that it will work. Okay, so for that I can come to my procedure function. Over here I can use a function called in. You can give any name. Let's say if I want to give a name of my parameter, let's say class. So if you give the name of the class, so over here then you need to use a student dot class, and then you need to mention over here what is the data type of your class. Let's say my data type is a text because 1A is containing text. So over here I don't need this one. I can just copy my class parameter which I've created inside my function. Control C, Control V. Now one more interesting thing you need to understand over here, this class over here I am using a dot student dot. Why? Because now it will understand this is a column. If you don't give this one, then it will be confused. Okay, so you need to give a name of that table dot class and equal to class, which is that user will write a any class name. Okay, now you can give any name. It doesn't necessarily then you need to write a class. You can give any name. You can give my name XYZ or whatever. Okay, now let's apply finish. Okay, now the name of my procedure is called a new procedure. I'm going to copy this the name and come back to my SQL query. Okay, and then I can call this procedure, call this, and then inside it I can write into double quote 1A. Okay, let me run the query. So as you can see, I can get the result of 1A. You can write any number over here. Let's say 2A. It will give you the 2A. So over here I am parameterized my SQL code. I'm using a parameter inside a function so that user can write any class so that it will give you the output based on that. Okay, so this is way you can call using call of in. Okay, there's a one way you can create an in function where you need to write the mention of a parameter, and based on that you can get that output. Now one more interesting feature in parameter. So there are three functions that you can inside use in the stored procedure. You can in, out, and in out as well. So over here I'm using in, so that will help me to create a parameter by replacing over here. Okay, now let's say I'm going to use a out function. Okay, now let's give a, I want to count how many students are there in my class 1A. So I'm going to use a count function over here to count the number of record. Okay, and then I'm going to use a into, and then I'm going to call this, let's say give a name, let's say total. Okay, and then you can give as a text. Okay, and then you can use a count into, copy this total and paste over here, and let's say I am going to use equal to 1A. Okay, so over here I am using out function and giving the name of that out is equal to total, and that should be my text. And then I'm going to use a count, so it will count the number of record, how many number the record you have, and then I'm going to say into total, so that output will be saved into my total parameter. Okay, now let's apply that, apply finish, go back to query, and now let's call that procedure again. So over here I don't need to put, I just need to give at the rate the name of that parameter which I've created, right? So let's create that. Now once it's created, you need to use a select statement for that to run a query. So select at the rate total. So as you can see, in class 1A I have a 7 student. So let's go back, change to 2A. Okay, apply finish, come over here. If you run that again, okay, once let me first save this query. As you can see, I got a class 2A, there's a 1 student only. Now let us use the combination of in and out as well. So let's say over here 2A I am writing manually. Let's say I can give one more output over here. Let's say in class as a text as well. So I can replace this class to this class as well. Okay, now let us understand how exactly it works. So apply finish, come back in over here, and then I can just give the 1 comma, and over here I'm going to write a class. So previously I was writing the class on my query, so I don't need to write that there. I can write that class name over here as well. So double quote 2A. Okay, and then I can run the query. This is my query, and then let me call that. So there's only one student in class 2A, and let me change over here 1A, run the query, run it, and you can see I'm getting a 7th student in my output. So that's the whole process of a store procedure. I hope you guys like the video. For more such interesting video, follow Ivy channel.